Step 5, I am seeing it. And I hope you can appreciate that all of these really tie together because this goes into so many different facets. In fact, so many people talk about this specifically, and it's all about vision. How do you visualize yourself? How do you see yourself? And one of the most profound experiences I ever had was in 1999 at a Tony Robbins event in Hawaii. It was called Life Mastery. And one of the things he did is at one of the segments, he said, okay, everybody close your eyes. And he walked people through this process where he identified with people in such a way that he asked them to walk through their life to see themselves at like 70 years old. And they said, what does that person look like? What do you look like? How do you feel? What do you see yourself doing? And all these things. And most of us, when we were honest with ourselves, we all admitted that we probably didn't see ourselves as this young, healthy, fit person. In fact, we saw ourselves as old and, gray-haired and kind of crinked over and all these things. And then out walks this guy, this fitness guru. He was like 70-something years old, and he looked like a kid. He was in perfect physical shape. He was glowing. He was, great hair. I mean, everything about him was not what you imagined at 70. I think he was like 74, 75 years old. Crazy stuff. But that's what I'm talking about, because as you see yourself, it defines yourself. So seeing defines self. So however you see yourself, and this is something that I grew up with because I had a terrible self-esteem when I was a child. Even into my adult years a little bit, I had a really bad self-esteem that I wasn't aware of. I didn't realize it, and I didn't realize it until I started to do my own self-discovery about who I was and what I was capable of. And so be careful, because some of us see us as one thing, like, oh, I'm an attorney, oh, I'm a lawyer, oh, I'm this, I'm that. And then you become that, and you wonder why your relationships don't work. Can you imagine if you were saying to yourself, well, I'm a lawyer, and then you go home and you wonder why everybody feels like they're always being questioned or interrogated? I mean, you've really got to help see yourself in a totally different light, okay? And I say that because energy follows thought, okay? So everything that you give thought to or put your attention on, that's where the energy starts to flow. And so that's how, again, remember, that's how your reality gets created. So really become conscious and aware of where your thoughts and attention is focused on, because that's where the energy of life, that's where your chi energy is going towards. And you don't want to put it off in the wrong place. You want to make sure that you start to really see these steps. And even if you just wrote down each step after you've watched each of these segments, if you just write each step down and you remind yourself daily that all these different steps, they play a part. They're going to play a huge part in where your thought is and where your attention goes, and that's where your energy is going to flow. So here's another thought to think about. See as if, do not see as doing. Okay, now think about that, because a lot of times we think that we have to do things in order to achieve them. And that's true. I mean, we're not going to sit around and meditate all day and expect things just to fall out of the sky, a bag of money in our lap because I meditated today. No. But you have to see yourself as if you're actually doing them, as if you've actually experienced that. And it goes along the same thoughts as Einstein did, where he says you're not going to solve the problem with the same mind that created the problem. And so a lot of times people don't see themselves as speaking in public because they don't think that they can do it. But if you see yourself as if you are speaking in public and you visualize that, right? You remember you're seeing it, then that's going to give you the opportunity to actually be there. And when you're in that different space, you're in that different reality, you're in that different energy, that's when your mind starts to say, oh, okay, well, I can do this and I can do that. And things start to happen that you've never thought could ever happen again. And that's why they have things like think tanks. They have think tanks where people throw out these ideas, and they're just throwing out these ideas. It doesn't matter if they make sense or not, because everything comes from something else. It's all just one on top of the other, and things start to kind of spiral out. So all these great ideas come out, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it leads off to something else. I mean, how many times have you done that where you've been talking about one thing and then off on a different tangent, and it got started because of an old, stupid thought that you look back now and go, well, that was really stupid. But guess where it got you? It got you to the thought that you need right here, right now in this moment. So remember to do this, okay? No matter what, follow your vision to the end. That means don't go, oh, that's stupid. What am I thinking? You don't know where your vision's going to take you. And remember, if you're in touch with your higher self, and if you're really truly understanding this whole process of manifestation, trust. Trust that your vision is going to be perfect. So follow it to the end. Okay? I'll say it over and over again. Who cares how? Just get there. Okay? Just get there and really focus on a couple of things. And number one thing is you've got to stay positive. Stay positive and don't beat yourself up. It is so easy for us these days to beat ourselves up because we're constantly being bombarded with perfection, right? But the truth of it is that we look at everything and there's nothing that's perfect other than the sense that everything is perfection. But nothing's perfect, meaning that it doesn't need to ever change. And that's why in this universe, everything is constantly changing because perfection is something that is ongoing. It's just going to keep happening over and over and over and over again. So again, who cares? And just stay positive, stay focused, and remember to repaint your picture. If you have a bad vision of yourself, you know what? Reinvent yourself. It's like, why not? Everybody else can do it. Just totally reinvent yourself and start to visualize and focus on that. And heck, go back to one of the other steps and write it down. Write out who you want to be. And if you're looking for a relationship, write out who you want to be in a relationship with and be very specific. Because remember, however much energy and how much focus and attention and all that kind of stuff gets put into something, that's where you're headed. Okay? So remember that and see it, and then I will see you at the next step.